By September 2014, heavy rain started eventually leading towards natural disaster. According to NDMA, Punjab is most affected province by the flood. Hit numbers of villages in 12 districts and destroyed 1,000 acres of crops. The flood has affected lives, property, agriculture, enterprise, communication and socio-economic infrastructure.
सैलाब आया साड़ा बड़ा नुकसान होया ज़मीनां साड़ियां खराब हो गई ने फसल साड़े तबाह हो गए ने माल मवेशी साड़े जेड़े ने रुड़ गए ने
Trócaire, having mandate of saving lives, decided to respond the situation on ground. Trócaire country team started collecting primary data of worst affected areas, identify local partners, assess their capacity, policies and procedures in place. Trócaire supported partners in designing need assessments to determine appropriate and impartial assistance. With the findings of assessed needs, Trócaire put in place a plan to deal with immediate needs of affected communities in district Muzaffargarh and Jhang. To meet the immediate needs of affected men, women, boys and girls, Trócaire initiated relief response, focuses on effective participation and gender consideration, for which broad-based community meetings have been conducted in the target areas. Village committees were involved in identification of most vulnerable beneficiaries and monitoring of the project activities. We create new partnerships to reach out maximum vulnerable groups when they need us more and disaster is that time. Trócaire provided temporary shelter, food ration and basic non-food items including winterized bedding, hygiene kits and mosquito nets. Distribution points were selected for easy access of beneficiary with the proper sitting arrangements. Trócaire places greater focus on downward accountability as per HAP standards and putting complaint response mechanism in practice. Beside complaint desk at distribution points, printed banners with the details of packages and information about complaint mechanism have also displayed at distribution points and prominent places of target area. Trócaire took on board all the stakeholders during the response and also conducted a workshop for local humanitarian actors to focus on raising awareness on inclusion of vulnerable groups in response. We work with government, we work with the other stakeholders on ground, and this is the beauty of our work that we work together. With any disaster, there are phases of response. In late 2014, Punjab have moved to early recovery phase. Displaced people returned to their villages. The scale of their needs became apparent. Trócaire and partners have been tracking those needs and continuing the response over the months.
Working with those communities to restore their livelihoods, meet their immediate kind of emergency needs, and also with a strong focus on protection and gender as kind of an area of specialisation for Trócaire. I suppose what sets our humanitarian work apart is our focus on justice. We like to say in Trócaire that if it's not justice, we don't do it, so that's a very kind of fundamental part of our work.
Trócaire, through its partners, distributed wheat and cotton seeds with fertilizers, provided livestock and poultry flocks to women. Trócaire supported people with cash grants to revive small enterprises and distribute mobility aid to disabled, cash grants to older people, arranged livestock camps and hygiene sessions, and initiated rehabilitation of link roads through cash for work and hand pumps for safe drinking water.
During a visit to a flood-affected community in Muzaffargarh district earlier this year, I was very impressed to witness the community's willingness to identify the most vulnerable in a kind of an entire community that was affected by flooding, but still there was a willingness to provide assistance to those most in need in decisions that were made at community level.
The overall response restored livelihood opportunities of vulnerable groups for their families and enabling them in sustaining their lives. Here are some of the achievements.
extremely grateful to Trócaire and to the Irish public for their generous support of this work.